welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you're returning, thanks so much for coming back. So in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how I did this wig. So the first thing that I'm doing is basically just getting the hair out of the way. So this is a closure wig. It came with a closure, and then I pinned the closure onto my wig cap, and then after that I just sew the closure down, and I start by sewing in the same place twice just to secure, and I knot my thread at the end, and then I just sew along the lines, and I just keep going. Alright, so yeah, basically that's what I do up until I finish sewing the closure down. And yeah, and then after I'm done sewing the closure down, I just remove the pins, and then after that I lay my wig cap onto the wig block head, onto my mannequin head, and then so I make sure that I lay it as flat as possible. As you can see, I'm trying not to stretch it too much because that will alter the size of the wig cap, but I'm just trying to make sure that there are no creases, because the creases will also make the wig cap tighter. And yeah, and then after I'm done laying my wig, I laid it as flat as I get it without stretching it. After I'm done with that, I'm just going to put away the hair in the closure so that I can work with the rest of everything. So I use curved needles, and yeah, this is the hair that I'm using. This is human hair. I'm honestly not sure where she got it from, because this was a wig for a client. So yeah, but it was really nice hair. Like, I really like this hair because it's like super soft, and it's just everything, and it didn't feel very plastic. Like, it's a really nice quality of human hair. So yeah, I first put my needle and thread through the weft, through the bundle like that, and then after that I then begin to sew. Yeah, so my sewing, there's literally no special method that I use for sewing, but yeah, I'm just securing the weft onto my wig cap just to make sure it doesn't move around anymore, and then after that I take a pin and pin it to the end, and then I sew along that line. So I just pin my wig, I'll pin my wefts all the time because it's just so much easier for me, because I'm not holding on to it, and it makes sure that I'm sewing within a certain straight line or pattern or whatever, I don't know, but yeah, that's what I do. I literally have no specific stitching that I use. As you guys can see, I'm like using a normal running stitch. I don't tie any knots or anything. I see a lot of people do that, but I don't do that because the thread that I use is very sturdy. I use a twine because I really couldn't find a really nice quality actual cotton type of thread that I could use that doesn't easily snap. So I use this twine. It's fishing twine, but it's super sturdy. My wigs never fall out of place. Like, the wefts never come off, and I have wigs that are over a year old, and the wefts haven't come off with this thread. And it's not too much, because the other thing that I was scared of is me feeling it too bulky, but it does not feel bulky. It feels absolutely normal. So yeah, So what I do when I get to the end, I don't like to cut my hair because I avoid shedding. So I just fold it over, but make sure that I sew very tightly, because if I don't sew very tightly, it gets really bulky in the edges, and that does not look cute. Nobody wants a wig that looks bulky. And yeah, I basically just keep on sewing and going. So here's a little mistake that I used to do in the beginning. In the beginning, I would I would sew like very, my wefts would have like these very huge spaces apart from each other. That's what I used to do. But as you move on, as you learn, you realize that okay, in the beginning, in the back, I sew at least between a half an inch and an inch apart, because anything more is a little too much, or maybe if, but nothing close to 2 inches, because 2 inches is a little too much, and it tends, your wig looks very weird and not full in the back. But when you sew the wefts kind of closer to each other, it looks more natural, and it looks more believable and better. But also, you don't want to sew too close, because you don't want to run out of hair when you get to the top. But that's something that you only get after you make quite a couple of wigs, because it also took me like a really long time to get the hang of. But yeah, sewing at least an inch apart always helps. Like, it really always helps. So yeah, I keep going and sewing in that all the way up until I get to the end of the wig. Of course, I did not film that part because it's basically the same thing all the way through. So now that I'm done, I'm going to customize the wig. So we're going to cut off this part of the wig cap, because it looks so natural without it. So if you buy a wig and you still have the wig cap on there, the best thing I'd advise is to cut it out, because it makes it look natural, and it makes your closure look very sculpt-like. So because this wig cap does not have any parting, it's a free parting. I love free partings, actually. So what I did is I laid it down on the wig cap, and then I laid the wig down on the wig cap, and then I decided where I wanted the part to be, and then I just laid it flat. And then after that, I take a pair of tweezers, and I just use that to pluck the hair where I want the part to be. So you can pluck your hair, like, basically even in the edges, like make the edges look a whole lot cute and stuff. But then this is what I did I plucked the parting, so it was a middle part. She said she wanted a middle part, so yeah, that's basically all I'm doing. Or sometimes when you get a wig and the parting is it's not very believable, because most of these wigs with closures, they come with a part that's very thin. So when the parting is way too thin, you can also pluck it just to make it look cuter. I've seen other people use razor blades, especially when you go to a salon. They tend to use razor blades, and never allow them to use a razor blade. If you can, and your wig has a free parting, take your wig, lay it on some flat surface or something, and take a pair of tweezers and use that to pluck. That way you make sure you pluck it exactly where you want it to be. And yeah, to make sure you pluck it exactly where you want it to be, and it looks very believable. And yeah, and then after that, I cut out the excess lace, because I mean, the lace is meant to be cut off. You don't need that huge lace. I have seen a couple of people walk around with like lace there, but yeah, you cut off the excess lace to where you want it to be. Especially this is a closure wig. It's not a frontal wig where you glue it down. So because this is a closure wig, you wear it glueless. Basically, you really don't need the lace if you want it to look as natural as possible. So now, next what I'm doing is I'm just spraying it with water. I literally have only water in my spray bottle. Then I'm brushing it down just for the fun of, I don't know, yeah, because I wanted it to look good, because I hadn't done anything to it. So yeah, and then I take my blow dryer, and because the wig is slightly damp, so what I'm doing is I'm holding that piece of hair down. As you can see, there's like parts sticking out. So I'm just blow drying that part to make sure that the part stays in place. and to flatten that little piece of hair that's sticking out. But also, after parting the wig, I just want to make sure that the part remains secure and everything. So yeah, and then that's basically all that I'm doing. I spray it down, and then I spray it down, hold it down with my hands, and then blow dry just to make sure it stays in place. I'm not blow drying the rest of the wig because the hair is a body wave, so I didn't want to ruin the curl pattern, so I'm only blow drying the closure part, the parting. I'm only blow drying the parting. So yeah, pretty much that's all you do when you have a free part. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had so much fun making this wig. I love making wigs. Fortunately, I couldn't put the wig on because, as you guys can see, I had my braids on. So yeah, so you could only see it from the mannequin head. But yeah, it actually turned out pretty cute when she put it on and everything. But yeah, this is what it looks like. It's not too bulky. Like, it's very believable. It's very natural looking. You can put it on and it doesn't look like a hat. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want more videos like this, please let me know, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Bye.